Shopify Editions has become one of the biggest showcases in tech when it drops twice a year. About the only thing missing is a guy wearing a turtleneck. The latest editions dropped today, and it just happened to drop on the same day I was booked to chat with Emili from Zapiet. We recorded this literally 3 hours after editions went live, so it would have been silly not to give some early takes on what was announced. The key message of the Everywhere edition was clear. Sidekick, the Shop app, POS, agentic connectors, the global catalogue. That's what dominated. Shopify is pushing apps to build for all of these surfaces, and they've put the early adopters on stage. For app developers, Sidekick definitely provides a new way to stand out and create meaningful experiences for merchants. And it reminds us that good UX still has a place and how important it is to create these great experiences, but also put the right guardrails in place too. Time will tell which ones are actually worth investing in. The catalogue-API gets showcased with some cool experiential sites that let you shop products from any Shopify site in the world. One of them lets you shop based on your star sign. Very cool, but there's still a big gap between that and experiences that are actually useful. But that's the exciting bit. There's so much untapped room for innovation. There's always some flex moves in there too. Sidekick on Apple Watch? Someone had too much time on their hands. But often the strongest signal from editions isn't what's included, but what's missing. And there was a glaring lack of anything for the online store or innovation in the theme ecosystem, which is still the lifeblood of most merchants. Editions doesn't fully derail today's chat though. We still found time to go deep on Zapiet's world. These guys are an OG of the ecosystem. They made click and collect possible years before Shopify did, and they've kept innovating ever since. They've created Zapiet Eats, which enables restaurant ordering on Shopify. It's a great example of something that sits outside the box of what Shopify traditionally is and can service a new market. Thanks, as always, to the support heroes for sponsoring this show and supporting apps all over the world with their customer support offering. Let's go! Emili, thanks so much for joining us on the Shopify app show. It's a big day in the Shopify space. Obviously, editions just dropped. There's been a lot of announcement in the ecosystem as well, with things like Mantle shutting down. And yeah, so for that, which is a big one for a lot of app developers. But on editions, I know it's only a couple of hours fresh, but do you have, have you had a chance to flick through it, and what have you seen that's jumped out at you?
Yeah, cool. Well, Martin, thank you so much for having me and waking up 6 a.m. in the morning, Australian time, for having this chat with me is brilliant. That's so much going on. Obviously, we just like being throughout, like with the latest updates with editions. More than 150 updates is like insane. I think Shopify is being like full of beings, like shipping so much, and then this obviously excites us like developers, because obviously it's not just like obviously updating in parts of the app and how it functions, but also possibilities of building new stuff. So we're really excited on the side of obviously Sidekick now interacting more with the apps. I think this is going to be huge for merchants. I know like some of the developers are a little anxious about it, but we are excited. I think it's just going to be great for everyone. Easier for merchants to set up apps and to get information reports out of it with Sidekick. And I think it would just be easier. We'll probably have more installs. Let's see where this ride takes us. But yeah, exciting. We're just going through it because it's just like obviously just dropped there. So a lot of API updates. Fun.
Yeah, there's a lot to digest in there, and yeah, it was like it's the good thing is a lot of it's stuff that's already released, which some people get a bit disappointed that it's not new things, but I think that's actually good because we've had a bit of a chance to already digest some of it. And I think like Sidekick was obviously a lot of stuff in there about that, and obviously the stuff with catalogue-API and I guess the theme I guess was well they called it the Everywhere edition, which I think sort of speaks for itself. But also I think I'd love to talk about some of the stuff that plays more in the space you're in, so around like retail, pickup, delivery, and not just so much around editions, but what's happening in that space that's worth talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. Like again, like inventory and how you create catalogs, and again, like metafield tags and all of those efficiencies on processing data and creating obviously metafields to respond to the right data requests. It's the biggest for us, and it reflecting absolutely most of the suite of apps that we have. And I guess like what we're excited about has always all the new capabilities for us to make, again, like our Zapiet Eats, our new app for focusing on the restaurants, even more robust and fast processing. Because every time that we have an app that talks to all the points of the journey of with the client, like all the steps into ordering, if we are talking about the monstrosity for processing. So then everything that makes the data processing faster for us, like I was like cheering in the background. And I think this is the bit that we are excited to go through. It's what can we implement on our two biggest apps that are super complex that will make everything else even faster. So exciting about that.
Yeah. No, spoken from a true technical point of view about just making it faster and getting straight into the API. So I love that. And yeah, I guess the other piece, like we touched on a little bit before, was the Sidekick piece as well. Like I almost just want an opinion here, like how much of what apps do in that traditional app type interface is going to be replaced by people talking to Sidekick. Like how hard are you going into it, and how hard do you think we need to go into it to build what merchants are going to be using?
I think one thing that I think interests me the most with the Sidekick update, it is the fact that I think some developers might be thinking like, oh, I don't need to be so careful with the user interface anymore because like people would interact less. For me, it's the opposite. I think we need to carry on like having the cleanest, the easier. And also another thing that we also try to be very attentive to is like all the terms. I think this is sometimes what people like forget. And then obviously with Sidekick, obviously it is AI. Like you can experiment with other AIs. You're going to respond the same way. It would be responding to what you're asking. So making sure that like the terminologies that you're using inside your app to set up all your features and everything, it matches the way that people are going to be asking for. So then obviously Sidekick also will be able to respond in a very efficient way and then deliver to the merchant that whatever they're asking to an app, it's correct. I just gotta do like a rough example. Like imagine that, I don't know, merchants are asking like, oh, can you please update my click and collect? And then you have inside your app like reports for pickups. I don't know, like you know, like when you're having, I think this is gonna be a lot. Like I think you're gonna be a big trend about how people are asking versus terminologies inside the apps, and you know how Sidekick could be picking this. That's, I think I'm very excited about all the technical sides, and I'm already thinking on the technical side of it. But I think it's just gonna be brilliant for merchants, and it will simplify as well how merchants are going to be assessing the data, like how they're going to be asking for reports. I think that's the best part, because I always like we go to obviously some of the app dashboards, and then it's so complicated to try to think, oh, I just want the reports and all blackout dates, for example, and then you need to go to sometimes specific inventories, specific menus, and then from there find the length of time that you want, and then ask for it. So you can just ask Sidekick for it. How brilliant is this? Like, so much faster.
Analytics piece is massive, isn't it? I think for extracting data and information, like it's just so much better than trying to type it into a query or find a report template or anything like that. It can do it so much better. And I think for me, I think that where apps will succeed, or what apps should be doing, is making sure that their data gets exposed in Shopify reports. Like that's something I know I'm spending a lot of time looking at the moment. And I think where you've got data that lives in Shopify, that means that Sidekick can bring the report without you having to build anything, and without you having to have your own deep reporting dashboards and stuff like that. Is that where you sort of see it heading as well?
Yeah, I think it would definitely reduce complication. Like, I think obviously I think you will touch point by all the big talking points in the ecosystem right now about like obviously Mantle fading out. I think obviously the Sidekick also can give us some reports that might be a harder thing for us to try to scavenge inside. Would also, I would say, avoid vibe coding of something that you need to be maintained, instead of okay, Sidekick will be maintained by Shopify, and for sure they're going to be improving Sidekick even more. And just excitement around. And I think data, every time that we work with correct data as well, we just would just support to do better decision making. So I'm excited to see as well, in the future, if we'll be able to extract general data as well. That's not just regarding our apps, but general data from the App Store. I think this is something that I'm seeing maybe in the future, that maybe Shopify would build something for us, for developers, with Sidekick, that would deliver maybe some of these reports that Mantle used to do. Maybe this is my prediction. I don't know. I'm thinking with a very engineering mind here, but would be so exciting if that's the journey.
It's been an interesting time. That's it, with all the, obviously, Mantle shutting down. That's has an impact on a lot of app developers, and it's really going to, I guess it's sad that a platform that's contributed so much isn't going to be around anymore. But it means, firstly, there's the panic stage where we all need to work out, well, how do we replace this stuff? But then we're already starting to see, I guess, some innovation and some really nimble tools, or tools that maybe hadn't risen to the surface yet, coming out. But I think Shopify, the dev dashboard's got a lot of potential too, doesn't it? Where it's still a pretty new part of the platform. And that developer experience is something that there's still a lot of opportunity for improvement there, isn't there?
Absolutely. There's so many people are heartbroken because obviously it sees as much the partner dashboard and what sees Mantle every day. So you literally you sit down to work, you open a laptop, before, at least us as founders, we do a little journey of what we open first. And Mantle was one of those tools that we would be one of those that we will open first to check it up, everything. And obviously there's the big thing with the billing API as well, but then obviously Shopify just released theirs. So I think that problem, it's solved, but definitely a lot of people will be missing as well, because before Mantle, we also had our internal tool, but because we've been with Shopify for a very long journey, so you can imagine, how the data are so complicated, and extracting reports, old reports or even recent reports, it used to be very easier with, we don't need to be querying things. Obviously, it's a very different word where would before Mantle, because obviously before Mantle we didn't have the huge capabilities with cloud code, the vibe coding, and all of the reports that we could just create with AI helping us out now. Now this is out in a table in a wild, so I think we're just gonna remove, because we have our own Zapiet cloud where we already have some reports that are useful for us, and I think we were just gonna go back to drawing board, and then build some of the reports that we used to use on Mantle ourselves internally. And I think one thing that we need to give a shout out for them, for Jordan, Owen, and the entire team, is the team are a dream team of engineers. They are so excited. They are so pushing with innovation. They are so caring with all the problems that developers had. And then I don't think we never, because obviously ourselves being the developers, we are focusing on the solutions that we provide. So that's our priority. It was the first time that we felt that someone had the priority to actually process data for us in a way that was easier and faster. So they deserve so much praising for what they build, even if they are fading out. I think the entire ecosystem has a lot to thank them, and they are brilliant engineers and brilliant people that love to solve problems. And I can't wait to see as well what next for them as well, because they definitely deserve a spotlight somewhere. But we're gonna be missing them, and we are heartbroken, but for sure a lot of others in the ecosystem also excited to build that version. It'll be easier now again with AI helping us being much faster. Our build is not heavy queries anymore, so very excited for that.
Very well said. And I think, yeah, for me, like, I'm a lot newer to the app ecosystem than you are. And like, I was shocked when I started using Mantle at just some of the stuff they made possible in there. And yeah, I feel like I've only just finally nailed the billing for my apps set up all
bless you.
in Mantle. And I've just got my developer. He's just finished almost migrating all our apps across to the billing there. And now we're off to the new billing model in Shopify. But rather than talk about the technical side of it, I wanted to ask you actually with billing, like how is that going to change across apps in the next little while? Because yeah, we've come from a pretty traditional SaaS model where it's just like you pay X dollars per month. If you're installing a Shopify app in particular, it's generally pretty fixed, and there's not so much you can do to increase that and do sort of a variable price model. But yeah, you're an advocate for sort of that model changing, and so how do you see that panning out now?
I obviously with Shopify has built, I think it has so much more flexibility with the new billing API. There's so much flexibility for the percentage use based, because obviously this is what we use also a Mantle for the use based packages. I think that was the biggest challenge, and I think biggest challenge for all the developers. And you can do this with Shopify new billing API. I think like a lot of us is changing this scenario. This is your main question. I think like this, you'll be probably a lot of all the developers exploring this new model as well of, just charging a percentage or charging a per order kind of model to try to gain more market. I think this will open new possibilities for developers. I'm excited to see what they do. Obviously, we have the two models because we serve from pop-up stores to Fortune 500. So we cannot have like a package, like, a traditional model package that costs just one price. And then we have obviously some tier pricing, but sometimes we want to be very kind and then to be that solution that the merchant can grow and then grow with that business. For that, you can't start charging a lot. You need to charge a certain amount, and then obviously if the merchant's growing, they can pay you, they go over the little package, and then they can start paying you like a little, percentage of the price for the extra, or paying per order. Like for us, it's paying per order. We don't believe on a percentage of the order. I think it's like a punch in the face of the merchant. If you like every time, like you want to take a percentage of every order they do. So we have like a fixed price for some our order packages. I think it's a great flexibility for developers, and developers should be looking at models, because they would see like a shift on the customer profile that start coming from them, even if they are the ones that has like very higher packages, and then they maybe can have like packages that cost monthly little less, and then adding it this extra payment for if they go over a limit of orders. I think the developers are going to see much more opportunity. We already work with all these different models because we want to be, as I said, that solution that goes from small merchant to the big one without for example, having merchants for the charging, just an example, a $39 package. And then we have from the merchant that does 10 orders, then for the merchants that we had ones like MasterChef that process thousands of orders. So with MasterChef, we're definitely not covering the the operations for thousands of orders with $39 a month. So it needs to have this flexibility. So I think so many possibilities.
I think that's the main thing, is having those possibilities, isn't it? Because it evolves all the time, and businesses need to win new business, but they also need to make money, and so having that ability to adapt it and modify it, and hopefully within the platform, that will make it a lot better for people. What's the moment a Shopify app realizes they can't keep doing support tickets themselves?
When an app realizes that they need the help, it's already a little bit too late. And all of a sudden, you start getting 15, 20, 30 queries a day. You look at the inbox and it just keeps piling up. You sit down to build and there's just no time. That's when most app developers realize that they're a little bit in trouble.
The Support Heroes. Round-the-clock support for your Shopify apps. Visit thesupportheroes.com today. we booked this call a few weeks ago, and I've been trying to get you on the show for a while because Zapiet's one of the apps that's been around for a very long time, and I've used it back in the day, back when things like click and collect were not really possible any other way, and some of your integration with maps and stuff like that. Like I get some I get some nightmares thinking about some of the problems we had to solve back in the day, and that Zapiet was the best fit and the one way to get them solved. But you now sit here today. You've got 6 apps in the store, and they're all doing different things. So how can you maybe just get you to tell me a little bit about the journey and how you got to having the 6 apps? What's the most exciting part of it at the moment? And and how you're going managing those 6 apps, right? Across the folio.
Well, you forgot so many exciting things. Obviously, this year it's been an incredible year for us, and then it was a big year that we were very much on pushing our latest product, Zapiet Eats. So then we were a lot of traveling, so we spent a lot of time in Asia. So then that's why availability became like a huge problem with time zones, and then doing like our regular shifts and as well. Taking a lot of different meetings and doing a lot of research there's so much to come on that side. So we've been around for a long time. We're actually the pioneers in App Store. We were the ones that invented in-store pickup and look at delivery and the Shopify App Store, and we're very proud of. And the journey all came from my co-founder has all been building online stores. And back then, we knew when we discovered Shopify, we knew that it was like, oh my god, this is so much easier. So why we're being using other platforms? Like that was stuck on time and not thinking innovation. So, but then obviously building online stores to merchants that maybe this is what you experienced back then. that was not a solution for in-store pickup and local delivery, and it was something that was on rise here in Europe, but not so strong in North America. And then we were like, oh, we do need this possibility. So we then built the first app, and then we were like ourselves in the App Store for like about 5 years, just ourselves until the pandemic. Didn't have competition. It was fun, but it came from a passion of solving complex problems and being excited about retail, because obviously we are engineers, we build technology, but we love retail. I grew up in retail, Andy grew up in retail, so then both of us are very obsessed with inventory and how managing things, how making things efficient. And the switch of apps came from, again, like being this journey to be like the first ones in App Store, doing this expertise gave us an unparalleled feedback from merchants from all over the world. So then we start to understand that, okay, we have a set of features in our main app, pickup plus delivery, that has also inventory, blackout dates, production reports. There's so much. We call the app that because we could not describe every single thing that the app does.
Yeah.
But it does so much. But then we started discovering through feedback from merchants from different countries that they had the specific issues. And some of those issues were so incredibly specific, and they didn't need the whole of the functionalities, all the features of the app. Like in the case of in-store pickup and delivery, it's so then we start like, okay, how about we then just for example, like delivery hates by zip code. We go to Ireland, for example, we have the ear codes, and they like to do the deliveries by limiting the per postcode zone. There's so many specific like merchants use cases that we start to understand, okay, but then why are we going to build this feature inside pickup plus delivery if literally the only issue that the merchant has is this one? So then this is when the other apps started to be born, because we understand that the merchant needed a bicycle, they didn't need a rocket ship. So why would make them pay and try to operate a rocket ship? Then everything that they needed was just a bike. So then it's basically, this is how the there are other apps that started as well, because our pickup and plus delivery right now, it's almost its own ERP, like its own like operational system that literally a merchant can have a store on Shopify, install start pickup and delivery, and then operate the business delivery, everything just through it. It's just like, it's fabulous. It's not just because it's our product, but it excites me so much. So it is complex. So that's why to make a merchant to maintain that, if they just need like to manage the zip codes, and there's another one that's delivered by distance as well, similar thing. And then we start to understand as well with product options, there were so many different apps, but then we wanted an app that would seamless integrate with all our solutions. And then we were like, okay, we tested a couple of different app partners and we had great solutions, but then we needed something that would be so flowing seamless. I said, okay, we did need to build that on. So all the apps that we have, including our latest product, Zapiet Eats, it all came from our customer journey with all this. But you imagine, like, I've been building technology for 17 years, and the 17 years now, about 11, we just doing this one expertise, just researching this one expertise. We have a lot of research in our backs and a lot of information to how to use this information. And this is how Zapiet Eats was born as well, because a lot of a customer of ours were operating restaurants using pickup plus delivery, but the app is not quite fitted for on demand ordering. You know.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to like dig into Zapiet Eats, because it's a very cool idea. And I caught up with some guys who have an app called Pos Cafe the other week, which is sort of a bit of a similar a similar type sort of niche as well. But what does Zapiet Eats do, and how's it going?
Yeah, it's going fantastic. So I think what we just had, we have like in Philippines, we have the Contis group. We have the more than 100 cafes using Zapiet Eats, and then Wendy's as well. And Wendy's Philippines, they entirely coming to Shopify because of Zapiet Eats. So we are not just excited by the product that we build and how robust the product is, but we also excited the capability of what type of merchants as well we're going to be starting to move to Shopify because of our app. So it is, we are like, again, we're thrilled because of it. And also Zapiet Eats was also born because of a lot of merchants on the restaurant industry. They obviously suffered with all the high fees that they pay to Uber and DoorDash and etc. And we had a lot of visiting merchants, a lot of feedback of them saying like, oh, we have our online store on Shopify because we do sell our hot sauces, we sell our merchandise. It would be so fantastic if we had a way where we can also offer our meals in the different menus for our merchants. They're already loyal because they're already part of their loyalty program. They already enroll with them, consuming, they are loyal to them. And what they wanted is to stop losing so much margin, because obviously food business, it's the margins are so short, like it makes a huge difference if they need to give like a huge cut to a third-party platform. They still need the third-party platform, for example, to discoverability for new clients and etc. But once the client is already in-house, why are you going to carry on like ordering your favorite pizza in a platform that pay you less? So you want to support as well, because I guess it comes a lot of with kindness as well, from understanding that the business needs to be supported. A lot of obviously now we're talking about Wendy's, they're a very big chain, but we have most of these restaurants, they are small. They just have one spot, and then you want to support your favorite restaurant because you don't want the restaurant to go anywhere. So then you want to do your part to make your restaurant to carry on surviving. And for this, like, why to give fees away if you can just like order? But then we hit a second part of the technical challenge was like, okay, we want a platform like to be on Shopify that also the clients could order in the on-demand format. So when we were started to working on this product 5 years ago, there was a lot of we work a lot with Shopify to make a lot of the capabilities and functionalities to happen. The POS cafe has some sort of a glint of similarity with Zapiet Eats, but Zapiet Eats is like a complete product with like a building loyalty program, building reviews. Like, is this what we call a super app? You don't need other apps to operate your restaurant with it. It's incredibly robust.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and then there's a lot of restaurants, small restaurants, they have their own delivery drivers. They want to manage their deliveries because they want to be the ones doing their own route. And we have Hazel, a great example there, like to give Hazel like patisserie and cakes and products that needs to be refrigerated. For example, they have their own vehicles. They don't want to be operated from a third party and then destroying the product by the time it hits the client. They want to have ownership of everything. So this is where Zapiet Eats comes. Obviously, we have a very huge chain implementing now coming to Shopify because of Zapiet Eats in the Philippines, and now in Europe we're having the rise because we also through a process now that we are telling everyone that yes, you can do restaurants on Shopify, and agencies here in Europe are so excited about it. We're working with some of them now to do with specific as well integrations for payment systems in different countries, and it is we also been pushing towards the POS. So, and the POS now is being releasing latest, like so many amazing updates, and this is what we want to see as on the latest edition. Well, what else for POS is we're excited to enroll on. So yeah.
Oh, it's exciting. And like, I just look back, I know, like, I think it's the same everywhere in the world, but like now, like if you order off Uber Eats, for example, it's not just that the restaurant gets charged a massive fee, but generally to cover that, the restaurant will charge you more. So like I ring up a couple of my local restaurants now to order over the phone again, like I did back in the old days, because it saves me $10, and the restaurant are also saving on fees. And it's which seems silly, like that in this day and age when ordering online is the way we do stuff, and food's perfect for that. But so it's great the gap you're filling there, and I'm excited to see it expand and become something that more people do on Shopify and get that same joy out of running a Shopify store for a food business as what you can if you're selling t-shirts or socks or whatever else it is. So that's
exactly. It's like very different space, but we also have another industry as well that is really waiting. Zapiet Eats as well. It's some of the cafes and restaurants and hotels. So they're already on Shopify. So they're so excited about it, and we already enrolled some of them. It's exciting. And as you said as well, because I think you said a very good point. It's not just from our technical point of view, because obviously we look a lot towards the journey from the merchant and the end consumer, but also how much the end consumer is hit with fees. As you said, like depending on the country that you go, like it is so many little fees that in the end of your order you're paying. Like I think it was in Paris, like I was paying almost the price of my meal on fees. This is that, and then you're gonna add a tip to the driver. Like, oh my god, I should have gone to the supermarket.
Yeah, that's amazing. The asking for the tip is the final straw, isn't it? Sometimes you even get that when you actually go to a restaurant and you've ordered on your phone and the food's been brought to your table by someone who you've barely said a word to, and then you get the message on the app saying, "Do you want to leave a tip?" It's I know I don't leave a tip generally in that instance, but maybe our culture's a bit different in Australia.
different cultural. Different parts of the world, different culture, but there's a lot of like surprising fees lately with the different platforms, and definitely is not something that anybody enjoys. Because then if the consumer doesn't enjoy those fees, then they're gonna order less, and then the restaurant is not gonna have the orders, and then it's just like a domino chain of a disaster. So less fees.
Anyway, I'll move away from my opinions and me being a tight ass and into something more technical again, so I don't look like a bad guy. But I also wanted to ask you about the shop app and how all your stuff fits into that, and just you've worked you've built shop minis and stuff like that, which I see as something that has great potential, looks very flashy, but not sure what the cut through is like on that. So I'd love to hear about your thoughts on the shop app and how that ties into this type of stuff.
I think we are exploring it more to build more into shop, because like I was like just a couple of weeks ago, I was in Chantilly in a summit of Vogue, and then I was talking with some big like editors from Vogue, and he was so excited to show me, for example, all his orders that he had from the different boutiques, but all like he goes to his phone and then he showed me, Emily, here we go. This is what I love about shop. It's like, because all my orders are together, I know exactly when they were delivered, and I think there's so much potential to be built in shop itself, to like repeated orders, for example. So you loved something and okay, let's repeat this order. You know, there's so many different capabilities that we will be exploring, that obviously those we're gonna then lately tie with inventory and also product availability. So yeah, we're working on some exciting things. That's a lot of potential. I think people aren't exploring shop as much as they should. But yeah, we are coming up with some cool stuff that we've been working behind the scenes. But I think this is everything I can share right now.
Yeah, cool. No, it's exciting. It's
and for you, tell me.
It's another area to innovate, isn't it? And we need more hours in our days, or more AI bots to go and build stuff for us, don't we?
Yeah, because we're non-stop ideas people. So.
My Claude feed is just full of all of the 100 things I started building over the last
my God,
month.
And the tokens usage, the bill. We are here in a competition, like even like my co-founder is like in a ranking of the highest of usage tokens of the country. Because there's like on Claude, there's like a little section that you can see if you're allowed to see what position you are. Like, it's fun.
Well, it's fun for Claude. It's fun for Anthropic, isn't it? To see who's using the most tokens.
They're probably loving it.
Yeah, great. What a great loyalty program. I'm going to finish up, but I needed to. This is probably my question I most wanted to ask you. That's something very close to my heart. So you've built a mascot for Zapiet, the Zapietosaurus recently, and I believe you had a fair bit to do with that. So tell me the story, and I'll make sure I get a little image of it to put up here on the screen and share when I cut up the podcast for those watching it.
Absolutely. I can like show the people one out of my shelf here, because I have the mini and I have like the medium here like together with me. So so this is literally very close to my heart. We obviously Zapiet is a British it's a British company, and most of our branding is built around the Britishness. So, and actually the mascot I designed the mascot about probably 6 or 7 years ago. It's been a long time. Because we felt as well that we wanted this connection. We wanted something to represent our energy as people and our energy as a company. And we were like, okay, but then how do we do this? We develop like literally systems, like it's something that you cannot touch. So then I wanted to create something that could represent this emotion, that who we are. And we come up with again, like going back to the Britishness. We had already developed a lot of things with English iconography, with Scottish iconography, and then there was still Wales missing. So then I was like, okay, there is like the dragon and a Welsh flag, but I was like, I don't want to be so literal. I don't want to just design a dragon. And that specific week, I was like, I was in London, and I went to the Natural History Museum, and then I was like just seeing like an animatronic of a T-Rex, and then I was like, right now my imagination is on a high peak. I hope you didn't miss me, because I dropped Right, and the crest as well around London as well. It's like also a dragon. I was like, yes, this is what it needs to be. And then I did like create a fusion of a dragon with a T-Rex. That's why like it's that has like this very interesting shape. It's its own unique creature. It's like a Dino Dragonsaurus, and and then became and this year Zapietosaurus became its own brand. So we are launching different products. It's well loved. We have so many like design talks t-shirts and the teddies as well, and then we have like a huge one as well that we also loved, and we give away an editions last year that people were like absolutely mad around and it's becoming its own mascot. What I'm so happy, because we never imagined that, something out of imagination, out of love as well, because not just as an engineer but also as a designer, there's a lot of fulfillment to fill in the creative side. And expecting that's coming, video games coming, coloring books, pajamas, and much more fun things with it. I never imagined that, a mascot you're going to get out of the company and become its own thing. So, very
awesome.
happy.
Well, look, it can be a pretty boring industry we work in with a lot of this stuff, for particularly the people that we engage with. So it's any bit of colour or fun, like, I think it's fantastic. And love the Zapietosaurus. I'll be trying to grab some swag off you in Toronto this year. So
absolutely, I will separate some for you. But it just brings people cheerfulness, and I think this is something so amazing that it's not just in our apps, because after we just turned, like this year we had like a bit of a rebranding, so we turned all the icons into the different colored Zapietosaurus, but we have also a store that's 300 years old here in our local town that we're renovating. That's our atelier of retail technology, and then we put a lot of Zapietosaurus on the window display now. That's just on renovation, and the kids are absolutely mad about it. Andy I will be short for funny story. So Andy's mother is a nurse in a hospital that's almost like 1 hour away from here, and time to times when we are at the store and then I see a kid passing by and looking at the Zapietosaurus, I just go and pick one and I gift it. So the other day that she said she saw like a kid arriving with one of these very, very used already, and she was like, she couldn't believe that the kid was like, the dad said he takes it everywhere, he loves it, and I was like, I never thought my entire life that we were gonna be doing like a mascot for the company, and it ended being loved by kids and seeing in different places. It's just it fills my heart, and I'm so happy that he makes other people happy, because this is what he was invented for.
Oh, look, that's what we all want, isn't it? We just want to put a smile on people's face, and for you to do that with building a software company that helps make click and collect and fulfillment and those types of things easier. It's a wonderful story. So no, thanks so much for joining on the show today or tonight, or I don't even know whose morning or evening it is without time zones. But no, it was an absolute pleasure to chat to another sort of OG of the ecosystem and share so many great insights. So no, thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you in person over in Toronto in a little while.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me and having this amazing chat with so many things to cover, and absolutely I'm separating for you some in Toronto. Yeah, let's see you in Toronto.
The world needs more dinosaurs.